Mhm. Hi everyone, welcome to another
Conversation with Lee.
the live version. Happy Sunday to everyone. Um, how do we that treat you then? Well, here in Jamaica and in particular Kingston, I think we're past the worst.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think.
holy parade and drop. But yeah, I think we're past the worst. But yes. Oh, and then to our friends in Cayman, we're praying for you guys. We have a couple of friends over there. So hoping that the worst will happen. I was talking to one of my brethren today. So he has made his preparation. Ray and big up yourself. He has made his preparations, and so we pray that nobody
Also,
don't.
Peter.
Of course, and Peter. But I should meet about Tartary and today
Yeah,
too.
that's
Yeah, and of course Peter and his friends and family. So we hope everybody batten down as best as they can, because based on the trajectory, it will develop into a hurricane before it reach the Cayman. So we pray that everybody come out of it alive and okay. Yeah. So we're back, and of course, when you come on the live, all we ask you to do, you can just indicate who you are, where you're from, and we'll just give a shout out to you, and of course, you can share your views. We definitely want to hear your views on this one. Um, but just to say though, oh, Denver is celebrating his birthday today.
yes.
Yesterday?
Yesterday. Yesterday
Yesterday?
was his birthday.
Okay.
Happy belated
Happy belated
birthday,
birthday.
Denver
Yes. No, but we don't know nobody else.
Robinson.
Yeah, Denver Robinson. No, nobody else has celebrated birthday. No, that not in a recent times.
No, not since we.
Right. So again, we just want to say blessings to everyone. Thank you guys so much for the support. Yeah, we were missing a little bit, for a couple of weeks and things, but we are back on track now. We had, stuff to deal with, of course, Michelle. With her being an independent lady doing her own thing. She was swamped for a
Yeah.
couple of weeks.
So I'm so much till my motor is
Right now,
destroyed.
we should make a vlog about that. Anyway, so you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so her wash sewing machine now is
Motor.
motor is down. So if I get that started before she can go back into zoo and doing some more productivity. But we are here tonight, and we just want to hear your views on this topic. And as you know, we try to bring topics that we can all relate to and have a nice conversation around. And so, I mean, feel free to share the link, share the video with anybody that you know would want to hear this topic, and at the same time, encourage them to subscribe to the channel.
Yes, and
Yes,
to like and share the videos.
like and share the videos. All right, and so we encourage you. Don't be shy. Just say hi to us, and we'll say hi to you. All right, because that's been a while. And I mean, I lie. I mean, just like when Peter they tell us, no, not Peter, Ron.
Ron.
Ron was said, boy, we really miss us, guys. We miss you too.
Yeah.
We miss you a whole lot, and that is why we couldn't even, rain or shine. We had to do the live today, and we just want to say a big thank you and a big welcome to everyone, and especially to those who are our newest subscribers. All right, bless you guys. Yes, so the wedding of your dreams, and the wedding of our dreams, does it have to be a big wedding?
Splash.
A big splash. The truth is, um, and of course, we are married for the past December, the Lord will make 22 years, and we had our wedding, and we have seen other people had their weddings and things. I'll start off by saying this, that the wedding doesn't determine your marriage.
Yeah.
That's where we'll start off. The wedding won't determine your marriage. Um, the wedding is that part that you come together and everybody enjoy the moment with you, and all the fanfare takes place, all the butterflies, all the first kisses, or whatever the first dance, or whatever the case may be, all that come together on the wedding night. Yes, but the wedding don't necessarily determine your marriage. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Most definitely. So whether or not
No.
whether or not you're able to have just a little intimate ceremony,
Mm.
or whether or not it is that is just you, your spouse, and a witness or two, you know, or if it's 100 or 50, it doesn't really tell the outcome of the marriage. But the most important thing is that, you have people there who mean you well, because if there's no one there to wish you well in a group,
No,
multitude.
but come on. If you're going to build your wedding list, you
Some
have
people
to,
elope,
you're going to make
that's
sure.
what I'm getting. That's what I'm
Nobody
getting.
say if nobody there to wish you well,
Yeah,
which is a problem.
funny enough, because it may be that sometimes you find two-person decide that they want to start this journey together, and both family may not agree. You understand? Both side may not agree, or people may think that, oh, you're too young, or him too old for you, or this too that, and 'cause it is a touchy situation for some persons. So they may not have the big fanfare behind them, while others, will be longing when you get married, and then you have this great crowd behind you and all of that. I am saying that, we are saying that the bigness or the smallness, you understand, of that wedding, it doesn't tell you the outcome of what your marriage will be, because it's still going to have to be about the two of you at the end of the day. So that's basically what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, the truth is, and for those who are married already, and this talk or this good chat is really geared to those who are not yet married, and
Yeah,
how we
desire
can
to.
help, yeah, how we can help you to shape your decision. Because the truth of the matter is, especially in church, when you grow up in church, and everybody from your little boy
You're in
or little
trouble.
girl, and you grow up. Most church weddings are big. Most of them they are big, and it becomes ticklish, especially when you're trying to make the list.
Liz, oh my.
You understand? But it is like it's inevitable that you're gonna have this huge list, right? Because the list that you have is going to this determine the size of the venue, and determine how big the wedding going to
Welcome,
be.
Jordan.
And at
Welcome.
the same time, it is going to deter it's going to yeah, family thing. Thank you, Jay. It's going to determine, oh, if you decide to have a huge wedding party too. You understand me? Because if you look at your thumbnail, you see different parties. If you decide to have a huge party, most person tend to have, if they have a huge party, they have a huge wedding.
Yeah.
You understand me?
Especially, as you say, especially as Cornell said, when you're part of an assembly, and then this is where a lot of people feelings get hurt with you not trying to hurt anybody feeling. And I think one of the things that persons are not looking into is that you really cannot invite everybody as much as you would want to, because at the end of the day, someone have to fit that bill. You understand? Somebody have to fit that bill. And I don't think in most congregation people stop to look at, okay, I would love to be a part of it, but should it be that, I'm not invited to such, a thing? Don't get offended, because people cannot invite everybody. And sometimes, as try as you might not to hurt somebody feelings, it get hurt, because you can't invite a whole assembly or the whole community, whereas if you're well loved and well known. And I think what people need to look into is that if I get invited, if it's a privilege, and I wish them well. If I don't get invited, I still wish them well, because just maybe they wanted to have me, but they just could not afford it.
So
You
so so
understand?
it brings up one of the main points in deciding how big your wedding going to be is what your pocket can manage. Now, the truth is, from a church, in my mind, me view church weddings. I believe, like, in a church wedding, if two young people, especially those who grew up in a church and whatever, and they want to have a wedding, Me feel like the church member them, we just say, oh no, we will just do this, we will just do that, we will just do that. Why? Because it is nice if the fact you grew up with everybody that as much as can there would be
Will be
there.
there.
You understand me? But that would be in a perfect setting if the church is that together. You understand me? I
And
say,
wish you
and
well to that band too.
well, yeah, right? But you grew up together. Everybody know the two, you know, and they decide to get married, and the church just come together and say, okay, we will do this for you, we'll do that for you. But all I will want to come because all I will happy for you and just want to participate in it. You understand me? But so for example, that's not the case. Says you are expected, and maybe have the support of your family. We have to then come together and decide, okay,
How you
what's
going
the
to do
number
it?
going to be? I guarantee you, even if that's the situation, when you start to write down the names, you will have a huge
Usually,
list.
I can remember like
Mhm.
22 years ago with your workplace. You were at CrockPot Town, and that was the situation. Well, it was with church too. We started with 50, and then it reached to 100 and mash because we grew up in the church, and apart from our family, you understand, we wanted everybody to come, but we really couldn't afford it.
I
But
think
by scaling down or whatever, it come to 100 and add. You understand? And with your co-workers also, I reach to the point where they're saying, boy, Mr. Lee, if me have to pay for my plates, and
that
whatnot, and I
and that
have to be there. And it turns out that way. It did turn out
because
that
the
way.
truth is, I mean, we're not. I mean, we our budget was small, although we got support. We're not going in
Yes,
that we
we
got
did. We got
support
support.
from family members, even
And
members of the church.
members of the church
And I think our first list,
was
at
50.
one point, no man, at one point our list went up to about 100 and maybe 100,
Much.
or thereabout, and we had to do an adjustment and we trim it down to about,
Painstakingly.
yeah, to about, it was like 90, but at the end I think it was at the end of the day the wedding was about 102 persons who
Mhm.
came. 102 persons. And then Michelle did mention I think because of the togetherness and the people who are part of your life, even my co-workers, they were willing to literally pay for
Pay.
them dish, pay for them plate. Like, I mean, because it was a restaurant. So they were willing to pay for their seat or whatever they call it, or whatever it is
And
set
listen, there's
to
no
be
shame in the game
there.
if people want to do that.
Yeah.
You understand? Because they want to be there and they really mean you well, to the fact that the night after the whole thing and
Mhm.
reception, we got back some
Yeah, because
funds.
I think we paid for 120, but only 100 well, so 102 or 106 persons turned up.
Mhm.
So we were able to get back a little thing from the restaurant, which wasn't much anyway. Yes, I mean, but the
Yeah.
fact that we had somebody counting the number of guests, and then based on what we paid for, we were able to get back something because not everybody
Yeah,
turned up
can
at the
be
time.
there.
You understand me? Which was a good thing
It's a
anyway.
good thing, but yeah, and the next point to that, for people who are maybe not a part of a organization like a church or a big community or whatever, I mean, you shouldn't feel bad if you feel like, okay, your situation is different because X and X, family member may not agree with the union and don't want to come. I said, I'm not going. You may feel away, but at the end of the day, it's a better thing for you because it's never about the crowd. I've come to experience and learn that, at the end of the day, it's not about the crowd, it's about the two persons who going down the aisle because the two persons have to go out the journey. You understand? So, okay, the wedding being big and splash.
Quite frankly, though, I have no problem if you can afford a big wedding. I know that the only thing about that is like it has to be
I say no.
reverberated,
Okay.
sent as a reminder that this. I mean, have up to me that they must. I think you should just,
Stress free.
apart from stress free, that day requires, yes, a budget, but as best as they can make it because it's a day to be remembered. It's a day that you want to have lasting memories of. It's a day when you want people to come and celebrate and just smile and everything. You understand? But you have to then still remember that if it don't get as big as that, it doesn't take away from the
As long as it's
wonderful
not putting
day.
you in a debt situation. Because for me, it's never good to start a marriage with debt, especially unnecessary debt. Yes, you want everybody to be there and you maybe want a big wedding, but if it's gonna put you into a big debt going in, it's not worth it. Trust me, down the road, it is not worth it. You understand? Because you're going with a deficit within a union that already going to have its challenges and everything. And it was a situation where two of you cannot agree on in the beginning whether or not, and this again, this is one of the big this is one of the big issue and one of the first problematic situation with starting a marriage is the wedding list. It can be about the finances, or it can be about what would you say, problem within seating problem and all of those. Okay, so I don't want this one to sit beside that one because I don't think they'll take tea or some problem going in. So I mean, if you can work out that situation from then, you're on your way. You
Yeah.
know, you're on your way. If you can work out a problematic
So
situation from the beginning, you're really
so
on
the
your way.
truth is the list has to be worked out between the both of you. The both of you sit down and decide on the list, and when they have to be willing to make some compromise.
Compromise. That's where it
Um,
starts from.
you know, somebody got left off, and in the event that you can't afford to have everybody. You have to then look at who going to get let off, and the both left off, and the both of you have to agree on it. Because to be honest with you, on that day, Michelle was saying about who knows himself. Quite frankly, if at the wedding, just sell an invitation. Where them want to sit down, them sit down. If you
So
can have some security guard, if anybody start misbehave, just say take them out now.
outside.
Yeah,
But
because the truth is you come to your relative wedding or whatever cousin auntie
some
whatever.
people don't know how to
You
behave
have to
themselves.
you have to you understand what I say. So and then no, is it, I don't know if I've ever had a situation. I heard about a situation. Oh yes, I have, where persons who are not invited just turn up.
Oh Lord.
But it normally happens not at restaurants or hotels. It happens like we have like a family setting,
Family
like
setting.
the wedding keeper, the cousin yard, because the cousin have a big backyard, and then rent the chairs and tables and put it out there. You know, see somebody just show
Just
up.
show people
I,
that show up from the community or
that whole situation, I don't think you can help
you
it. You know,
know,
you just have to have enough food.
yeah. And I mean, our church is situated within a community situation. You know, that Garrison is.
No,
It's in a community setting,
yeah,
our
but
church.
it's not.
And the point I'm trying to get at is that most times at our church, when there's wedding and so, you'll have people who come
Yeah, come at
over
the church and
come
see the
at the
ceremony.
church.
Yeah, man, but they're not gonna
But
come at the
baby,
reception.
but people need to understand that
Mhm.
if you're not invited to a wedding, don't crash it.
You can't tell people that,
That's
especially in a community where you walk up and down and witness the people, and then you see I get
yeah.
married, them a come at the church
And
window come
yeah,
look.
in
You
Jamaica, man,
understand?
people be passing and say,
They-
"Wait, I will get married over there today."
yeah, they're
And
not
it's like,
going.
don't say Susan and Gavin. What? Susan will get married, or Gavin will get married, and
And them foot dirty, them go wash them
they
foot and come up.
determine whatever their attire in that day. Maybe them not even set right. They walk on the premises within the churchyard, and because they know of the person, they just have to invite themselves. And trust, it doesn't look appropriate when you're going back to your pictures and you say, "There's a whole person there." But you right away say that person wasn't invited because some of them staying up their head not turn right, them foot not turn right, as you say. And I mean, people need to get over themselves. If you're not invited to people's wedding, stay out. And most of the time,
You
they're
can't
not
stop that.
discreet. They want to be up on everywhere and everything because they know of you.
As I say, you can't stop that
Man,
because you watch them coming to invite in the church, and them see every Sunday. You say hi to them. You see them they themselves come to church, see us sing from the choir, or whatever the case may be, especially the young people them. And them may say I get married, them will come
Them
look, them
want
will stand
come
up at
see
the
what I
church gate, them
want.
will look to see when them come in, them want to look for your dress, and them probably even come give you a chops too, because them happy for you. You understand me? But that is it. I think a
Oh
wedding
my
is
God.
supposed to be like that,
Yeah,
a
build the
joyous event,
community too.
and people coming together and celebrating a union because in fact they are happy for you. You understand? But the aim of the matter is this: most women, in particular, when they are getting married or planning on getting married, they want the full
Yeah,
shabash,
that's true.
whatever that, if there's a word, the full thing. I mean, the big ring, they can't sit it. I mean, just some ladies don't engage them with a little beanie ring, diamond you can't
Them
see.
can't even see
They
what's
want to see
happening
something
there.
big and fat.
I mean, the truth is, whilst we know it's not about the ring and about the dress,
Hmm.
but in every woman's mind, your
It's
wedding
there, there.
day have been placed in your mind from you were a child, and you have this princess thing. That's once in your life that you know that you want to just feel that fairy tale, that princess effect. You
Hmm.
want to feel it on that day. You have some lady where simplicity is their thing, but nevertheless, they still need the dress for to just capture that moment of being that princess that you are. You understand? And even though you may find that a lot of ladies, many different tastes. You have some that is like the gypsy, we want the big long tail and the heap of frill and the big hair and everything. But the dress have to be a statement. You may just have, those ladies who just like the whole of the simplicity but elegant, where they want the nice, elegant dress, but they still need a chill and not so much embellishment, but you still must look like a princess because it's your day. You need to stand up, and whether or not the men want to own it, yes or no. Some of them want a three-piece suit. You understand? Some of them, if it's even not a cheap three-piece suit, they want, the two-piece, the elegant saguana. Or if them no want stand out too much,
Hmm.
their groomsmen have the
I
colors
mean,
and
come on,
come
you got to
on.
coordinate. You have to coordinate.
Exactly. So,
You can't pitch patchy. But
you know,
but the
they
point
want to feel like a king too.
but the
And
point I'm making it is that in the mind of the especially ladies, they want to see the church full, and it have to be a big splash.
yeah, it has to be
You understand
memorable.
me? No man. The point I'm getting at is this: if it doesn't happen like that, you can't say you don't have a wedding.
Oh
You
well,
understand?
that's
That's the
so
point
each
I'm
his own
making.
there.
If it is that you can afford it, then go ahead. But if it's not something that you and your spouse can afford, and you don't have the support to do it, don't feel no way if it not have 200 guests or 300 guests.
Yeah,
It
that's
has to be something that you feel comfortable within
yeah,
yourself.
within
You
yourself.
understand me? That this is something that we can handle, we can manage. And as Michelle said, because you don't want to start your marriage in
In debt.
with a debt. You understand me? That you have to go after if you have a honeymoon, hopefully do after the honeymoon, they still have this big debt figure pay off. You understand me? But if you can afford it, I say go for it. I say
Yeah.
have the best
Like
you
the gypsy do.
have the
Invite the whole
biggest one you
community
have.
and the
Me not have no
county.
problem with. I
Yeah.
don't think it should be an issue once you can afford it. Yes, but you know, especially for those who go through premarital counseling, you know that the wedding is just that part where you just have this grand time, but the marriage starts after that,
After, yeah.
right? And it is in the marriage that you have to then do the work, love each other, take care of each other, spend time and be patient with each other and go through. Right? The wedding is just one day. Yeah, it is not the marriage. It's just one day,
That's a
but
true.
it must be memorable.
Most memorable. And not to bash people who decide, you know what, we are going with two witness and all of that. That's what you want. And most of the time when you find people who sensibly do that because that's what they can afford, later on within their relationship, they have an event where they celebrate a big ceremony and a big splash.
Yeah, yeah.
You understand, to bring that memory back together of how they want it at a
Hmm.
later
Hmm.
date, recapture that moment in a more big splashy way because that's when they can afford to, and nothing is wrong with that. Nothing is wrong with that. But one, don't be pressured by anyone. Don't be pressured by anyone to put on a big charade if you know you cannot afford the charade.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what we're trying to do. And if you're a person who don't like the crowd and whatever, but you want a little intimate ceremony and whatever, that's what you can afford. Don't do it. And those who want to come and make up in numbers that you feel are going to be upset and all of that, they will get upset, but they'll get over it. So later on in life, no, for all those who you didn't get to invite because that's not where your pocket was in the beginning, and they may feel some sort of way once they're alive, and later on in life you find yourself in a better standing where you can have a big reception or a big party, maybe a year after, maybe 2 years after. Then you can bring them along, invite them to come along, and
Oh,
then
I have a
you
question though. Who
celebrate.
does a big wedding? Who normally would prefer a big wedding? The male or the female? The female.
No, let me not. No, I think
Talk
the
truth.
female do, but nowadays the men also.
Oh
You have some ladies now who can bother with the heap of big splash and everything. That's
no,
happening.
generally speaking.
Generally speaking, I would say both.
No, 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 no,
Yeah, generally
no, no,
speaking,
no.
I would say both.
Most big weddings take place because a woman want a big wedding.
Every woman dream to be a princess,
Bishop,
yeah.
not about princess, not about how she dressed.
I don't want it to be a gender thing, but
No, I'm not
I'm not going. You
debate.
know
I'm
why I'm
talking
not going to
generally
debate that with you
speaking.
because it is true. Most
Generally
of the
speaking,
time, the men don't see, but the
it's not
lady
a
bring
bad thing,
them
you know.
along.
It's
It's
not
not
a
a
bad
bad
thing,
thing.
right?
The
So we
lady
not
bring
try
them
to bring on
along,
nobody.
but you will find maybe a 2% situation where the men want to splash more than
Yeah,
more
yeah,
than the
yeah.
ladies.
But
So
I
I
find
think
generally
that's true.
still is that the ladies prefer to have a big wedding than 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 than
The
than a man
man,
wanting a big wedding.
I would say that's true.
And even when I talk with like and talk with
Men,
unsaved men, most of the time they just want to have a witness and then
yeah, because they want
and
to spend the money.
yeah
They move on the money.
and I honestly don't believe that should be so because hear me, if
I
as a
agree.
man, if as a man, if this lady decide that boy, especially for those who live with the lady long time,
Oh
they live with the
yeah.
lady at 10, 15 years, right? And the lady decide to get married,
Mm.
or she want to get married, and you know, say boy, honestly, for a long time, may I roll and thing, and yeah, put on the ring now. You can't get one look go.
Yeah.
Go get in the past and your best friend and fear best friend I'm gonna sign on a piece of paper and that said, come on, man. I for the 10, 15 years where she invests, are you
Celebrate.
invest, it should be something celebrated.
Celebrated. Yeah. It should
You
be. It should
understand me? I
make
say?
you should make a point of it.
Yeah, me
You
not
know?
if you can't afford it, then you can't afford it. But me believe like for especially if you're with her for 10, 15 years and decides you were married to her. I think she deserve
Yeah.
something
Every
proper.
woman deserves
She
it.
deserves something proper. But for most part in our Christian circle, those weddings are normally something to behold, and
Mm.
it is something that
Yeah,
is
because even in the
invested
Bible,
in.
it was,
Yeah,
come on, man, it's everybody ready to party. They want to make the whole village and everybody come together. Hear ye, you're now invited to the sermon between so and so and all this.
yeah.
So
Me don't know about that,
I
but
think that's
it
where
is
it comes.
dramatized.
It
I don't
is
know if it's
dramatized, but I think that's where it comes from. Where everybody wants to celebrate two-person coming together to be one. It is a beautiful thing.
mhm.
Heck, even being a part of assembly and somebody getting married, even if you're the person that close and you hear that, you feel so excited, and even though you may not be at the list, you don't mind, you don't even mind because you just want to celebrate with people
Yeah,
who are
yeah,
doing that,
yeah.
So I can understand the pressure of wanting close friends and family to bring them along, but the real situation of a cost, can hinder, having that big thing. But it's
So
twofold. People should understand too.
so the reality is this.
They're not invited.
To, whether big or small, it's going to depend on what you can
What you
afford.
can.
Um, if you're working on a list, work on a list together and make sure, say, boy, there's a compromise
Mm-hmm.
that the both of you can agree on. Because and that if you both of you can compromise on a wedding list, it shows there's future how you're gonna handle future discussion.
That's what I was saying
Yeah,
at the beginning.
that's how you're
Yeah.
gonna handle
That's
future
true.
discussion, because you can say, all right, if it boil down to your auntie, I'm my cousin. I'm say, boy, it will be your auntie. Say, well,
Yeah.
that's true, you know, so you go. So auntie Osh, and scratch auntie over the list, and it's a
It's not
compromise.
easy. I'm telling you,
You
people, it's
understand?
not easy
Um,
because
go on.
you want to invite. Yes, it works if you're a person with a big family. You want to invite Auntie Sharon because Auntie Sharon is your mom, dear sister. You may not even have a great relationship with Auntie Sharon. I may say Auntie Sharon who, but Auntie Sharon is your mom's sister, and it means a lot to your mom for your auntie to be there, and then for your auntie, it means a lot for your auntie for her 3 or 5 children to be there,
Mm-hmm.
and it goes on and on and on. You understand? In many cases, you may find that maybe the man or the woman, okay, don't have such a big family, and you can bring your side along, so it makes make it up. But when the man family big, your family big, and then
Chopping off a
you
one.
have some family wherein they don't believe in sacrifice and compromise. What? So if your family did it, me have to do it, and me have to this, and at the same time, you may say, all right, not you would say, all right, couples but no children. But them say, what? I mean, nobody for leave my
Listen,
pity them wait. So me for carry them, and me
all
for carry my grandpity and my great
all of
grandpity.
those
It's
persons,
it get ridiculous fast. It
all of
really
those
do.
persons that you can invite, and you know if them have children or not.
Are not.
You have to say to them realistically, my budget is this. If you want to bring your kids, you have to pay for them,
And then some people get
right?
offended.
And so be it,
It is just a
because
headache at
the
some
truth
point.
of the matter is that if I really check for you as a family member, I am not going to put an extra burden on
Yeah,
you. So if
yeah.
them can't compromise and pay for them kids, if somebody kids says a restaurant or whatever, then they can't bring them argument done. You understand what I'm saying? So it's going to be based on budget, based on compromise
Mm.
in terms of making the list, based on it's going to be based on what support you
So
get,
yeah,
right?
and relevance
The
too,
support
because
you get, and the support you get will help to determine how what you can afford to
yeah.
have, and the support may just come as a backup to say, okay, you had 100, right, but you cut it down to 50 because you can afford, but
Mm-hmm.
the support comes enables to include the 50. Why? Because as far as you're concerned, you wanted them to be a part of it
Part.
anyway. You understand me? So the support you get is going to be vital to you
Vital. Yeah.
deciding how the size of the wedding.
And I mean, if you have young children who they don't really understand and have to be there, I think family members should be
Have to be, yeah,
conscientious,
yeah.
because some children, they're just not that I have anything against kids, but they're coming to cry and to call havoc and to make
And them
noise
when
and
you go vomit,
interruption,
them
running.
eat the food and them vomit and one bag of something
You know,
something.
in this day,
So and again also, the venue is I mean, it's a whole heap of things
think about.
to put into perspective,
Yeah.
right? But what we are saying here, if you can afford a big wedding, have
Go
it.
ahead with it.
If you can't, work with what you can
Yeah.
afford.
And there's no shame in your
You
game.
understand?
You
But
can't.
and this is another point I want to make. Make sure you choose a very somebody who is not just your friend and your best friend. Make sure the person who is the best man and your chief
Understand
so
their role.
understand their role, because on the day something bound figure wrong,
Yeah. It's
and
like
you want
Murphy
to have
Law.
a chief
That
or
have a
a
head.
best man who can keep a cool head and
Can
say,
work
don't
under
worry yourself,
pressure.
man, I'll get
Yeah.
that sorted.
Can work
I
under
will deal with
pressure.
that.
Yeah.
Right? Because you don't need to know, say, Auntie Mavis done this a faint, something they run us a vomit out. And
Yeah.
no, you just
Yeah.
need to know, say, so
Something around there's how to carry to the garden, whichever park to take the picture for them tire puncture. All right. Something happened within the family, the picture man, who's person who's taking the pictures, family emergency, they're late, they can't be there, whatever.
so you have to have somebody
Right,
with
you
a
need a
cool
best
head.
man and a chief who knows how to act within an emergency situation and have a cool head for know, okay, all right. John and Susan don't need to know about this. Today is their day. We don't want them to know that so much things is falling apart because we can't afford for them to be disheveled and not to enjoy their day. So this is what we're gonna do. Okay, so this is the new plan. We're gonna delegate such and such to do this, or we're gonna have to run down Ligani to get that sorted. And so you do this. You need somebody who can act and make quick decision within in the time of any crisis.
And your party, the party have to be like-minded.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Everybody who's a part surrounding that inner circle, because the inner
have
circle
to work together.
I gotta be you know, the maid of
bridesmaid, ushers, everybody have to work together.
After they're on the same wavelength. So if somebody if you jump in and do this, jump in, no pressure must come to you.
To the couple.
They must just work it out. All right, and make you have a beautiful wedding.
Yeah, and so if over the years, what we have known is that if anything can go wrong on that day, it will go wrong. Yeah, it will.
But you just have to have somebody who will out the flames as
they come along. Yeah. And you know, when it happened to person that was close to us, we were saying, "Wow, what a thingy!" But then, you know, people jump around, do whatever. It happened to us. It happened to us, and by the time it reached me, everything was up and good and done with. Because I can imagine if that they reach me while me in my nice white dress already I try to keep my nerves to stand in front of everybody. If me defeat me that start ball, I say, hey, everybody. You know, maybe not, but I know that the pressure would show within the photos and everything. So we're not telling you, we're not making up stories. We're talking about things that happen like
so every day. Have a big wedding if you can. If you can't, it won't stop you from having a great marriage. Yeah. That is important lesson here. All right. Make sure you're happy. So guys, we are gonna be doing our best to keep up our consistency. As we have been saying.
I think we shouldn't say it because every time we do what we mean well. Stuff and happens. This is another thing against stuff.
Nevertheless,
something happens.
If you aim for the sky, you might drop on the cloud. So we're gonna still aim for the heights.
You understand? Right. And trust me, people, it's not that they're lazy and then I post. Every time we come to you, like no one said, boy, stop, we're gonna do this, gonna do that. It's like something happened that we can't do it. So you know what? Until another year.
We are in this for the long haul. Yeah. So we're going to do what we have to do. All right. But guys, thank you for joining. If you're watching this late, we encourage you to, of course, leave a like on the video and share with your friends, share it with somebody else. Yeah. We're on our way to at least 500 for now, or 500 subscribers. And when we get there, the next landmark will be 1,000. So you guys have to help us to get there. You are our friends, you are our family. Yeah. And so we depend on you to help us to get there. All right? So until the next video upload, until next live, I say, God bless, and see you on the other side. Pamela. Good night, Pam. Good night, Pam.
Good Pam to always, have you. Yes.
Always on, but she won't say hi. But that's all right. Tonight. What you did tonight. All right, Pam. Have a good one. Stay safe, everyone.